Hello and welcome to Mo Car Problems. I'm your host Moses. So I have something here from my old job as a claim adjuster. I have a copy of warranty. So we didn't have our own warranties, but the company that we would be administrators of were like, hey, you know what? Since you're the administrators of our warranties, we'll let your employees buy our warranty at a discount. So I would buy an extended warranty with it at a discount. I still have one now, even though I don't work for that company. I keep renewing it just about every year or so. I pick what coverages I want. So this one's a little bit of a hybrid here. So I mentioned stated contract lists each individual component it'll cover. I mentioned exclusionary that covers all electrical and mechanical except for what's in the not covered section. This contract is both. I could buy the silver package or the gold package where it lists each individual part, or I can buy platinum where that acts like an exclusionary. It doesn't list every single part. So I can show you that. I'll show you an idea. I can't tell you the name of the company, but here we got gold coverage. And the gold coverage, see how it lists each part? Steering, and it lists each individual part in the steering it will cover. Brakes, each individual part will cover in the brakes if you want the gold package. If you want platinum, see how there's not a list? It's just tiny little 2 sentences. Platinum, it says, we will remedy any breakdown of your vehicle except items listed under sections 5, maintenance of parts, services not covered. So it's essentially saying the exclusionary section. And if you go to that section, the things that it won't cover, we'll say tires, brakes, hoses, spark plugs, anything that caused from accidents, light bulbs, like wear and tear items or anything that could be damaged from an accident, it's not going to cover. So usually that's the type of warranty you want, is the platinum. Or one that's exclusionary, where it doesn't have a list of each individual part. That's your best bet. But those warranties usually cost more money. So, me, for example, my vehicle is a 14 Ford Mustang. I have about 160,000 miles on the dash. I'm going to have to renew that warranty. I don't have platinum. I chose not to get platinum because it's more money, especially from how old my car is, how many miles are on it. They charge more because now it's like a liability now. Like, the older your car gets, the more mileage, we're going to charge you more to put extended warranty on it. So I bought gold. Whereas, it lists a decent amount of stuff. The main important stuff that breaks, if anything else that breaks that's not listed, it might be smaller stuff, and I'll do that myself. I'm a mechanic. I'll replace it myself. Also pick which coverage I want based off deductible, things of that nature. But see, I don't even have platinum. Even though that's probably the best bet, because I'll cover all kinds of stuff. Radio and stuff, and gold won't cover radio. But I'm okay with that. If my radio goes out, I'll replace it myself. So it depends on what you want. What type of coverage you want. All right. So let's go into the next thing here. How does your extended warranty get approved or denied? So you want to file a claim. Hey, my car broke down on me. You call the warranty company on your paperwork. What do I do? The warranty company says, okay, take it to any repair shop that takes extended warranties. Have them call us to file a claim before they do any work. The repair shop diagnoses your car. They'll let you know, hey, we charge $200 per hour to diagnose it. If the warranty company doesn't cover this repair, you are responsible for the diag. You agree, they call the warranty company, hey, you need an alternator. Does the warranty cover the alternator for this customer? What's their VIN number? Pull up information. Yes, it does. How much are you charging for labor? How much are you charging for parts? Put that together. Okay, this is what we'll approve. Okay, I understand. We'll let the customer know you approved the claim. The repair shop will do the work, order the parts, yada, yada. Okay, the repairs are done. Now what? Okay, have the customer sign the invoice, pretty much stating that you did the repairs. We're not going to just send you money because you say it's done. We need proof that you did it. You're not going to take our money and run. So we need the customer's signature on the invoice stating that you did the repairs and they're completed. Okay, they'll send us an email with a signature. Got it? I'll email them the credit card numbers to pay for the warranty, the repairs. Customer's on their way. That's an approved claim. Now, it can get approved, but not fully approved. Contracts have restrictions. They always do. What's covered, what's not covered. How much sometimes too. Does it cover the value of the vehicle, the NADA value, which is the value of the car? Does it cover only a percentage? I've seen some warranties that only cover a percentage of the warranty, of the NADA value. So if your car is worth 40 grand, I've seen some warranties say they only pay 25% of what your car is worth. So 25% of 40 grand is what the warranty company will pay. And then your contract's dead. And I've seen some that will pay the full amount your car's worth. I've seen some extended warranties that have a dollar amount. You will not pay more than $3,000 to repair your car. Once you hit that, that is it. Your warranty's dead. Read your restrictions on your contract. Read. Please read. What it covers, what it doesn't cover. Read it. Even if you don't fully understand, at least look at it and ask questions to the salesman. The salesman may not tell you everything, and they may not even know what it covers. I've had some dealers that sell warranties, and they didn't even know. They'd call mad saying, my customer's screaming at me saying you didn't cover them. I thought these warranties cover everything. I'd be like, you sell these warranties. You don't know what you're selling? Did you not read it? You're selling these warranties. You're not reading what you're selling? And go more into the discussion at another time when I talk about dealerships. But they may not even read. And you can contradict them too. If a salesman says this covers everything, it's bumper to bumper, just like a manufacturer's bumper to bumper, and you see parts listed, engine, transmission, things like that, you're like, whoa, how is this bumper to bumper when it lists each individual part? That's not bumper to bumper, that's stated. You can put them on the spot. Find out the truth. So reading is very important. Even deductible. Some customers don't even know there's a deductible on their warranty. Some warranties may even say if you go back to the selling dealer where you bought the car, they'll waive the deductible completely. You want to pay it all for the deductible. Some say that. Now, how can a claim get denied? If something's on the contract that's not covered, they can get denied. They can get it denied. If it's something on the contract that says it specifically does not cover it, we do not cover spark plugs, it can get denied. Also, if the vehicle was, I guess you can say, abused. So you ran the vehicle without oil. Denied. Some of these contracts have something called your responsibility for the vehicle. I don't remember the exact termage that some contracts call it. Everyone calls it something different. On the warranties that I do on my current job, they'll say your responsibility. That'll be a little title. And I'll tell you what you are responsible for. You must maintain the vehicle according to the owner's manual. You must make sure that you pay attention to any warning lights. You must make sure the fluids on your vehicle are properly topped off. So you're driving this car, your radiator hose starts leaking. You don't pull over because I'm not paying $200 to have it towed to a shop. There's a shop 2 miles down the road. I'll be just fine. You drive it 2 miles while it's pouring out coolant and overheating. By the time you get to that shop, even if it's 2 miles away, you didn't take account of the red lights, and the car is sitting there overheating with no coolant. By the time it gets to the shop, it needs an engine. It got so hot, it blew the head gaskets and started warping the heads. But you have aluminum heads, and now you need an engine. That's a scenario I had it a couple years ago. on an F-250. And the shop won't admit it. A lot of times they won't. They may be honest and tell you the truth. A lot of times they won't. Oh, the car just needs a new engine. And I look at the parts list and be like, why is radiator hose on here if it needs an engine? And then the truth comes out. They drove the vehicle while the radiator hose was leaking. They kept driving it with no coolant, figured the shop's around the corner, blew the engine. So instead of needing a $80 hose, maybe an hour for labor, now you're looking at a $6,000 engine bill because you don't want to pay $200 to have it towed. You didn't maintain proper fluid levels. You kept driving it while there's an issue and warning lights on the dash. Not covered. Denied. You don't change your oil for a long time, thousands and thousands of miles, the oil can turn to sludge. Sludge can cause clogs in the oil in the engine and ports. You can seize the engine. If we send out an inspector and he looks at the oil and it's like jello, because you didn't change the oil like you're supposed to, not covered. There's also restrictions on there if you have a vehicle that is a fleet vehicle. You register your vehicle as a taxi. You do any modifications, tunes, air filters, like racing air filters, cold air intakes, racing spark plugs. You modify this vehicle. That can void your warranty. They can deny it. The vehicle was previously totaled. Some of these contracts do not cover total vehicles. So if a dealership is selling you a vehicle and it was totaled and you're buying it as a rebuilt vehicle, but you buy a warranty with it, that warranty could say we don't offer warranties on rebuilt vehicles, retitled. So right out the gate, you can't use a warranty. Some warranties say if the car was sold and built in Canada, they will not. Also, just to retouch a topic here about approved claims. When I say they don't fully approve it sometimes too, there could be restrictions on it. Some contracts may have a labor rate. We only cover up to $125 per hour. Most shops in the state are in the very high 100s, low 200s. So $180 an hour, $220 an hour, $240 an hour. It's going to be extremely hard to find a shop that pays $125 an hour. Almost impossible. So you will have to pay the difference. So if this repair takes 5 hours, you will have to pay that difference from $125 to what the shop charges, $200 per hour. So sure, the claims are approved, but you will have to pay the difference of what the warranty will not cover. So the $125, the $200 per hour, you're going to have to pay the $75 an hour difference each individual hour of what the shop charges. The same when it comes to parts. Some shops will overcharge on parts. The other warranty company I worked for, we paid MSRP pricing, which at the time I figured was fair. Because that way, the shop's still making somewhat of a profit. I'm not trying to rob them blind. But if they can get this part for $400 and they're selling it for $900, we may go, hey, look, the list price of this part is $600, so we'll pay you $600. So at least that way they make a profit, you know. Now some warranty companies do not do that. They will say, what's that part number? I want to find out how much that part goes for right now, and that is all I will pay you. If that part costs you $400, I will only pay you $400. I don't want you to make a dime on profit. If the shop says, I'm not doing that, I always make a profit on the parts I sell. Okay, tell the customer to pay the difference. This is all the warranty company will pay. I've seen that happen multiple times too. And the customer's like, I bought this, I sent a warranty, and I have to pay $4,000 in labor differences and parts price differences? What's the point of this warranty? It's a scam. It's like, again, if you read your contract, it can even say stuff like, we will cover putting in brand new parts in your vehicle, used, aftermarket, or rebuilt. A lot of warranty companies will say that in their policy and your warranty. So you may want a brand new engine in your vehicle. Warranty company would be like, this car's got 100,000 miles on it. We're not putting a brand new engine in this. They could put a junkyard motor in. If the shop says we're not putting in a junkyard motor, all right, no problem. The engine you want to use is $5,000. This junkyard motor we found is $800. Tell the customer we're only going to pay $800 towards this repair. And they are going to have to pay that difference. Bam. That's where that money comes from. But the customer has to pay. The customer's like, I didn't know you could put in used engines. Send your contract, we can. Are you okay with that, though? You buy extended warranty. That's why I say you need to read. Because if it says that, you need to be okay with that if you truly want this warranty or not. If you think it's worth it or not. You want this car fixed, no matter what it costs. Even if they put in used junkyard stuff, who cares? As long as my car is fixed, I have to barely pay for repairs. Or do you want top premium parts put in your car? Then make sure your warranty doesn't say they can put in used stuff. So another restriction on these warranties is it has to do with they have not only a labor rate restriction in some of these contracts, they only pay $125 per hour. Maybe the rental car reimbursement, only $30 a day. They may only cover up to 5 days. Distance. I've seen some contracts that have distance on them. If you're within 50 miles of where you bought this car, you must go back to the selling dealer. If you don't, we will not pay for the repairs. You must go back. I've seen contracts that said that. Why do they do that? To minimize profit for other shops doing this. Because remember, some of these contracts the dealer pays for. So you buy this used BMW at, let's say, Bob's used car sales. Bob's used car sales may say, oh, you have a problem with your engine? Bring it back to us. We'll fix it. And they may look for the cheapest junkyard engine they can find to minimize cost. Maybe they don't want that money, a pool to run out. That pool of money they put aside for warranties, maybe they want to minimize how much they spend out of that pool. Just have to make it last for other people's warranties. So they'll go the cheapest route they can. Cheapest engine, cheap labor, they're going to go as cheap as they can. You go to, I own a BMW, I'm going to go to BMW. They're not putting no used engine in your vehicle. BMW is going to charge you for every single nut, every bolt, every screw that you need for this vehicle. Every hose, every connector. It will charge you for everything. Their labor rates will be higher than most dealers, most shops. Any luxury car dealership is going to charge you more for repairs and labor than most small independent shops. So that selling dealer that sold you this warranty is going to look at that bill and be like, why do they take this to BMW? Well, they figure they own a BMW, so let me bring it to someone who's certified that can work on it, right? So some of these warranties have restrictions on it. Like, we're not doing that. I'm not going to let you take your car to BMW every single time a single warning light comes on. We're going to do that ourselves. We're going to fix the car ourselves, maintain it ourselves. You have a problem with your vehicle, you need to file a claim, bring it back to us, the people you bought it from, the selling dealer. We will find a cost-effective way to fix this. So it's not going to cost us the bank. That's why they do it. A lot of customers hate that. They hate that. Don't tell me where to bring my car to get it fixed. I want to bring it where I want to get it fixed. Don't tell me. Well, your contract says within 50 miles, bring it back to the selling dealer. So if your car breaks down 49 miles away from where you bought it, tow it back. Or the warranty's not going to cover nothing. Doesn't seem fair. But if your contract says it, then it says it. And you have to do it. If you want them to cover anything, you have to do it. I don't agree with that, but it says it on the contract, then we have to follow the rules. We didn't write the contracts, Our job as claim adjusters is to make sure we follow all the rules on the warranty you bought. Make sure you're covered for things you're covered and deny things that you're not covered for. Determine if you're covered or not. That's your job as a claim adjuster. At my current claim adjuster job, I'm a supervisor. So I have to oversee all this stuff. I have to oversee the big mechanical problems I have to even be a detective, look at inspection reports, see if there's something that's covered or not. Some inspection reports I get when we send out an inspector are wrong. And I have to call the inspection company and be like, hey, these notes don't add up. You guys got to fix this. I determine if something's covered or not. I look at restrictions. They didn't maintain the car according to the owner's manual. I've denied. Or they didn't maintain it very well. Okay, it's approved. I make those decisions. So if there's a restriction in the contract that says if you're within 50 miles, go back, and you're 49 miles away, I have to follow the rules of the contract you purchased. That's my job. I may not agree with the rules at all. I may think that's not fair. By the end of the day, I'm being paid to make sure I follow the rules of the contract. And there's times where I'm like, man, that's not fair. That stinks. But I have to do my job. So that's why it's important. You got to read these contracts. Why do you send out inspectors? If it's a really expensive claim, I send out an inspector to make sure, to verify that that's the problem with the vehicle. Sometimes I send out inspectors when I question the shop. I may talk about this in another video about repair shops and the quality of repairs now. Mechanics has gone downhill. Since I was a mechanic, I know when a mechanic tells me a diagnosis that they're guessing. I know it. They give me a nice detailed description of how they diagnose the car. Okay, you did a good job. When you give me less than half a sentence on why this vehicle needs an engine, or I hear the famous phrase of, I got a code. That is their entire diagnosis. I got a code. You can use a code to go based off of where you start your research and start diagnosing the car, but you shouldn't be fixing the car because you got a code. That is not what it's meant for. And sometimes you might be happy where, oh, I happened to fix the car. I threw a code. I got a code. I threw a part at it. This part is common for this code, and it fixed the car. You may have got away with that 1, 2, 3 years, and then it's going to be a time when you don't get away with it. And then what? You're not going to tell the customer the truth, right? That you misdiagnosed the car. Most of these repair shops won't. They'll lie. Oh, well, we found out that you needed this too. So they tried that with a warranty company, with me. I know the truth. You have a code for a P0301, cylinder 1 misfire, and you're putting in all 4 ignition coils? And you told me the car was driven in? You just contradicted yourself. That's like saying I walked to the clinic with broken legs. How? How did this car drive into the shop if you're telling me every single coil is bad? That's not physically possible. That code is for 1 cylinder misfire. 1. So then I'll send out an inspector. If it's a very expensive ignition coil claim they put in, every single coil. And the only times I send out an inspector for something like that, and the inspector comes back, it just needed 1 coil. They didn't need all of them. They were just replacing them all because they were a different brand, or they recommended it, or it just needed 1. So if you're a customer and you didn't have a warranty, you would have paid for all that. You would have known. So, but me as a warranty company, I will send out an inspector. Investigate. Make sure this is what the car actually needs or not. Sometimes it could be in your favor as a customer. Sometimes it cannot be, though, unfortunately. If I have to make sure that, okay, this is what's failed on the car. If that part that failed is not listed on your contract, then it's not covered. So, and I've seen some shops where they'll parts guess like crazy. They'll put in a list of parts. Every time a customer has a complaint, they have expensive parts they're putting in. Oh, front differential, rear differential, transfer case, engine. I'm like, whoa. How do you diagnose all these things are bad? Half the powertrain in this car is bad? How? They just bought the car like 2 months ago. How is that possible? I'll send out an inspector and like maybe the engine. Worst case scenario, maybe a transfer case. Doesn't need a differential front and rear. Doesn't need transmission. They're parts guessing. So I then send out an inspector. They catch them in the act. Because the inspector will say, okay, show me that's bad. Show me your diagnosis. Show me it's bad. right? And then what is the tech going to do? He's on the spot. Some techs I see in the inspection report won't scan the car when the inspector asks them to. They won't do it. Nope. I don't have time for this. They won't even do it. Well, you don't want to show the inspector that you guessed? We don't cover parts guessing. We cover diagnosis. We pay you to diagnose the car professionally, not guess it. So I'm going to send out an inspector if it's something suspicious. If I know you're lying or you're guessing, parts guessing, and spending thousands of dollars to guess. And it's going to cost us, the warranty company, money, or even for the customer has to pay the difference. Then the customer, well, you only pay the difference for just your conditioning coil. Your contract doesn't cover that. But you only have to pay for one. But we sent out an inspector. They were quoting you all of them. So that could be why we sent out an inspector for suspicious repairs or diagnoses, or sometimes it's a very expensive claim. We have to send out an inspector too, just to verify everything. I know I said we'll talk this about 20 or 30 minutes in this video. I'm sure I'm over that time at this point. I just figured I'm going through it pretty quickly, so I guess I'm going to try to wrap it up a little bit faster. I'm sorry that's longer than probably 30 minutes at this point. There's also something called a secret rule. So I worked for another warranty company that had something called a secret rule. So how I can describe it. Unfortunately, it's not your fault. You can read your policy. It doesn't list it anywhere in your policy. When an extended warranty company offers this contract to a dealership, they can say, you know what, sure, I'll sell your policy to the customer, your Bob's warranty, but I want to add some rules. I want to add some rules on top of your warranty. And Bob's warranty company might say, sure. It's almost like a secret rule, where they're not going to put this rule on your contract. This rule is specifically only for the warranty company that's going to file the claim for you. So one of the rules I saw said, any claim over $1, have it reviewed, which is pretty much every single claim in existence could be over $1. So it doesn't matter if the shop diagnosed your car, they have the parts in stock that's ready to go, your warranty does cover that part, just approve it. Just approve it. We're ready to go. Nothing's stopping you. They could have a secret rule that only the warranty company sees from the dealership that says there's over $1. Send it to this agent to review it. And now you have to tell the customer they have to wait 24 to 48 hours for an approval. And they're like, why? My contract clearly says it covers it. The dealer has the part in stock. Why on earth are you going to make me wait 48 hours to approve this? Who's approving this? Who needs to review this claim? It says we can't tell you. It says we're not allowed to tell you the name of the person that has to review it. We can't say the name of the agent. We can't say it. Because that agent doesn't want to get reprimanded from the customer screaming at them. So we're the punching bag. You can put ridiculous rules on these contracts, these dealerships, and they don't want to get hurt. They want us to get hurt. We're the punching bag. We can't tell them who put this rule on. We can't say the selling dealer put this rule on or the agent put this rule on. We can't say it. We have to say about the rule, and that's it. Sorry, it has to be reviewed. Why does it have to be reviewed? Well, there's a rule on the contract that says it has to be. It's not on my copy. Well, it's on our side that we see it. Can I see it? No, we're not allowed to share that information. That's the name of the, let's say the agent or the dealer, whatever the case may be. And when there's a lot of contracts with that rule, that agent is going to get backed up to the point where it's going to take a lot longer than 48 hours to review it. I've seen it take over a week because the agent was so backed up. And it could be a small little claim, a $300 claim, something simple, barely over the deductible. we'll only pay, let's say $5-10 because the deductible is like this high amount. And they have to wait a week for, a $300 claim and the customer's deductible is $250. And we're only going to pay like $50. They waited a week. And the agent is reviewing it to see if he can cut corners and costs. Okay, the shop you're at says they want this alternator from BMW. Well, I found one at AutoZone for $200 rebuilt. I don't want to pay you $1,000 BMW. That's all we're going to pay. Take it or leave it. So with these secret rules, they have stuff like that. That's not fair, right? I saw one contract that had a secret rule. I really did not like it. I felt so bad for the mechanic. Because the dealership put this secret rule on, but the service writer and the mechanic working there did not know about this rule. So even certain people at the dealership don't know about this rule. But let's say an accounting manager or the owner of the dealer does, because they put this rule on. Whoever it was that put the rule on. So this poor mechanic diagnoses the car. I look at the contract. I look at the secret rules that are meant for the warranty company, and it says, do not pay the mechanic diagnosis. 0. Pay him $0. The mechanic was like, what the heck? What do you mean I don't get paid for a diagnosis? I diagnosed this car. You're not going to pay me a dime? It says on the contract that we can't. And this mechanic actually knew the name of the person who wrote this rule. I bet it was Rebecca or whatever. I bet it was her, wasn't it? Whatever the name he said. I was like, I can't say. I got you. I'll be right back. I'll call you right back. He left, called us back, and was like, I'm ready to proceed with the claim. What happened? I would assume whoever he found out who wrote that rule probably threatened his job, I would assume. Because he immediately came back and was like, okay, we can proceed without me getting paid to diagnose the car. And then it also said that we're only going to pay this much per hour too. He's like, wait, what? So not only are you going to cut back, I'm not going to get paid to diagnose this car, you're also going to not pay me enough to do the repairs too? He's just like, okay, I don't have a choice. I felt so bad for him. It's not our fault. We didn't write the rules. We have to follow the rules that are on the contract. They did that to save money, cost effectiveness. Hey, you work for me, so I want a discount. Minimize cost. What better way to minimize cost than barely paying the mechanic if it's under extended warranty that they sell? I only saw one contract that said that, so thank goodness it's not on all. But there could be a secret rule on there that unfortunately you won't know. You may not find out until afterwards. They might not even tell you if it's over $1, it must go out for review. They'll just say it has to be reviewed. So you still technically won't know that rule, and there's no way for you to know. Unfortunately, that's the possibility of buying extended warranty. This is for the other company I used to work for. They had that secret rule nonsense. It's unfair. So it's sort of like how restaurants now, some of them are having the thing where they charge you for using your debit card, the credit card machine. They're starting to doing a thing now where they're going to take that out of the server's tip. I've had multiple jobs, over 11. I'm only mainly discussing the ones that are automotive related for this video. For other videos, but in this case, I worked for a credit card company where I would program the credit cards, the machines, and that was a new rule they came out with. That, hey, some of these restaurants are requesting if instead of paying for the processing fee to run the debit cards from the customers, instead of them paying for it, they want to take it out of the server's tip. So essentially the server is paying to run that credit card, debit card. That is also like a secret rule, right? Some servers may be aware of this and some may not be. It's not fair and I don't think it's right. But think of it like that. This secret rule. Some of these warranties could have such a thing. I've seen the warranties where it says within 50 miles, go back to the selling dealer. But the secret rule said in any mileage, go back to the selling dealer, regardless of where they are. Or tell them to call the selling dealer wherever they are to see what they can do. I'm like, what are they going to do? They bought this car in Florida and they broke down in New York. What, are they going to have it towed back to Florida? Within any miles? That's ridiculous. You want them? I feel like it would cost you more. I saw a scenario where a vehicle broke down in another state next door. And the selling dealer was so desperate to get this vehicle back. They swore they can get this thing replaced and fixed and done cheaper than the shop it was at, that they were willing to pay a mechanic at the selling dealer to grab a tow truck with a rental car, drive it across the state, to give it to the customer, take that car from that shop, drive it back to them, let them fix the transmission, then bring that car on the tow truck again and bring it back to the customer, put the rental car back in the tow truck, and drive it back to the salon. I'm like, how is that more cost effective? Just pay the shop where it's at to do the job. They want it to be that cost effective. No, we can replace the transmission for cheaper than them, even though it was literally across state lines. They were willing to go that far. I don't think it's right. That it's like, if this is your warranty, if it says that the warranty company makes the decisions, then you may not have a choice if you want the warranty company to pay for it. So I don't like that. That's a thing on the secret rules. But another type of warranty is exterior, interior warranties as well. Oh, exterior paint protection. It covers the paint in your car, right? Read it. It could say it technically covers the exterior paint protection. So not repainting the car, but if the car is stained in a certain way, we'll cover buffing out the stain. So technically you are protecting the paint by removing the stains. So it's not going to cover paint in the car. You just saw, let's say, paint protection, assumed it covers paint in the car, right? Read exactly. When you ask for a copy of your warranty, when you go to the dealership, ask for a full copy, not the brochure. It's going to be maybe 2-3 pages long, could be 10 pages long. That is your warranty. Read it. Oh, tire policy covers road hazard damage to your tires. It may only cover $200 a year, $300 a year. Did you know that? Read your policy. And some of these cannot be canceled. So I'll have customers complaining, I didn't know you can't cancel this. It's on the last page. It's one sentence long. This product is applied to the vehicle. Once it's been applied, it cannot be canceled. Done. There's no discussion. And it sucks. Do you believe the salesman when they say, oh, it'll be canceled at any time? Oh, they'll come to your house and clean your car. And they call us and we're like, no, we're a warranty company. We're not going to come to your house and clean your car. Who told you that? No. Read your warranty. Okay. So I think I did a pretty good job going through this for extended warranties, just discussing things. If you have questions about it, let me know. Give me a comment, question, concerns, anything you want me to address more, go more in depth into warranties, feel free. If I remember any more information, I can always make another video called part 2. But I think I covered mostly everything. The only thing I think I left out was pre-existing, meaning damage that came with the vehicle before you bought it. So let's say the car needs an engine, and the dealership says, we're going to sell it after we buy it from you. And they'll put in some snake oil to get the car barely running. Someone buys it, they drive down the road, and the engine goes out. And they need an engine within 5 miles of buying the car. You're probably going to assume, hey, this car needed this from before I bought it. They call that pre-existing. That existed before we bought the warranty. Warranty company's not going to cover something like that. And they determine it's pre-existing. They may send out an inspector too to verify it's pre-existing. They went 10 miles and needs an engine. I'm sending out an inspector. Inspector may look at it and go, oh, look at all this damage. There's metal everywhere. This has been happening for a while. This is pre-existing. We're not covering that. Now you have to talk to the dealer about this because the warranty company's not going to cover it. That's what pre-existing is. If they determine that this issue happened before. And this can protect the warranty company because if a dealership buys a car from like a junkyard and get it barely running and then sell it and then go, oh, use your warranty company. They'll pay for a new engine. Warranty company would be broke if they did that. That's all the dealers would do. They just buy cars that don't even run or barely run, get it just enough to run to trick the customer, and then say, use the warranty company to pay for it. Pay for it in full. We're not going to pay a dime to fix this car. They're like, yeah, no, you need to disclose this information if the car is damaged or not, say it's as is or not. If you want to sell this vehicle, then you should probably repair it because the customer's going to come after you if it has issues right out the gate, right? Warranty's not going to cover that. So anything that's considered pre-existing is in issues before you bought the contract. If they deem it that, then the warranty company would deem it as not covered. So another thing I want to add is how some warranties also have rental car coverage. It may say it covers $35 a day up to 5 days. Now that's for if the claim is approved. So I don't think it's safe to just jump in a rental car while your car's at the shop. Because if you do, and the claim gets denied, you're responsible for the rental car. And some of them will either, the warranty company will set you up with a rental car, or they'll do reimbursement, meaning that you go get the rental car you're on your own. Once the claim gets approved, then they will reimburse you and send you a check for $35 a day for up to 5 days or whatever your warranty covers. Which a lot of rental car companies don't cover $35 a day. Might be $60, $80 a day. So you'll have to pay the difference. Same for towing. If you need your vehicle had to be towed or roadside assistance, it may cover only $50 per occurrence. Now, most towing companies obviously aren't going to do it for $50, but it's $50 per occurrence or $25 or whatever your contract says, plus you have to use the phone number they provide because they may have their own towing company that they want you to use. And even when you use their company, you still may have to pay a difference. Just to use those $50, it'll go towards using their towing company. So your contract will say that. It'll say a phone number for the roadside assistance and the call that number. So if you're not sure if you have it or not, call the warranty company beforehand. Let them know, hey, I need a tow, or hey, how does rental work? If you don't have a copy of your contract. Don't just jump into a rental if you don't know exactly what it covers. Is reimbursement or not, if they set it up or not. But a lot of it may not cover a lot. I did want to touch a little bit more on touch base on the maintenance. So some contracts have maintenance restrictions, right? It will say you must maintain the vehicle according to the owner's manual. Some contracts will have both. You must maintain the car according to the owner's manual, and you also need to change the oil at this mileage, 3,000 miles or 7,000 miles. So if you have a warranty that says you must maintain the car according to the owner's manual, or it says you must change the oil at this mileage or take the tires at this mileage, they can void your warranty or even just cancel the claim if you don't do it and you don't have receipts proving it. So not your friend who knows how to work on cars. No, you need to have an actual licensed repair facility, print out an invoice showing that you paid and had this service done. That's the only way they'll accept proof that you did this. They won't just take your word for it. Even if the repair is not related, if they say you're missing some oil change records or there's a gap in it, or the mileage is past due, you had the oil change done 3,000 miles past when it's supposed to be, even though you need a transmission and it's not related, they can still deny it. If your warranty says on it, you must maintain the vehicle according to the owner's manual, it doesn't say anything there about the repair has to be related. Nope, you just have to have that to use your warranty at all. You need to maintain your maintenance records. So you buy this warranty, if it does have maintenance requirements, make sure you keep the receipt. Go to a shop It can't be handwritten. Most warranty companies won't take handwritten either. The old mom and pop shops that hand write in the invoices, they don't accept that because you can just erase it and change the mileage to whatever you want. So it has to be printed out. So every time you go to oil change place or dealer or wherever you go for maintenance, for oil changes, air filters, whatever your owner's manual says you need to do per the mileage, you got to get it done. And they may give you a leeway. Do it within 500 miles of when it's due. So if it says 3,000 miles, you have 3,500 miles to get this done. You know, but you need to have receipts proving this, that you did this. Just keep them in your glove box. You know, because the warranty company may ask for them if you need a major repair. They could ask for almost every repair if your contract says. I know some companies aren't like that. They only do that for the major stuff, for engines and transmissions. They may ask for maintenance records, but technically they can ask for every single repair. You could need a radio, and technically your contract says you must maintain the vehicle. You must have the maintenance records. So if you don't have those records, then they could technically decline the claim. So it's very important to keep that in mind, that some of these require maintenance records. Maintenance must be performed, or they can deny the claim. But yeah, that's mainly it. I think I touched everything about warranty that I want to talk about. If something else comes up, I remember, I'll mention it again, or say in the comments, or I'll make a video if it is something in depth. That's it for now. Next video most likely will be about repair shops or dealers. It might be repair shops, but that's going to be like a long video. I'm going to have to make multiple of those. There's so many things about repair shops you may not know. Extra charges they may charge you for you won't be aware of. What that charge even is. Some of them may not be trustworthy either. And some of them may overcharge you on labor, not just parts. And a lot of them don't know how to diagnose the car either as well. There might be some shops that know how to diagnose vehicles and some do not. Even the dealerships I'll see don't know how to diagnose cars that well either. So, stuff to talk about in the future videos. So